You are listening to the FEBIS podcast, and my name is Sylvia Amaral. To know more about FEBIS, visit our web at www.febis.org and follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Please subscribe to our podcast and stay tuned. In today's episode, I'm very happy to say we are joined by Luis Moreira, Country Manager for Spain and Portugal of Paylink Solutions, a Fintech company, and Josué Mateus, Chief Sales Officer at InfoTrust Portugal, who will lead the conversation with Luis today. To both, welcome and thank you for joining the FEBIS podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
It's my pleasure, Sylvia. Thank you for having me. As Sylvia said, today we are going to speak about fintechs and the implications they may have to BI, business information industry. But first things first, Luis, tell us a little bit about yourself and about Paylink Solutions, please.
Thank you again. So myself, I'm just a nice guy that love technology, more finance and technology market. So I'm working this market almost 15, 16 years. So just focusing. First, I was working more in BI, business information market. Then I changed it to Equifax, also business information market. Then decided to go more to the platform and software companies. And now I'm at Paylink. So Paylink, in a very simple way, we are a financial service software company. And what we do, build solutions and software for our clients. And our main clients are banking, insurance company, lending, and debt financial sector. So that is our focus. That's our main. So our platform is just for those kind of markets.
Thank you, Luis. So, going direct to the business, in your opinion, are fintechs threats for the companies in the business information industry, or they represent new opportunities?
In my opinion, never has there been such a need from fintechs, and all most of the fintechs that I know, they work in partnership with business information companies. So I think at end they are not a threat. They are more opportunity for everyone. So we see in our platform, because we work, and for example in UK, also in Spain, we work with Experian and with Equifax. So to aggregate the data that they have in our platform, and with that creating good insights and good outcomes for our clients. So in my truly opinion, it's a really good opportunity to both market, one business information market, also fintechs, because the big aim of the fintechs companies is to provide the faster and a cheaper solution to the customers. So having a good partnership with business information and technology companies, I think is the best way to do it.
Okay, nice. So, since the crisis in 2008, fintechs have gained strength in the market. They are providing financial products and services for a more specific and challenging demand. So, in your opinion, what is the role of fintechs in the financial industry, and what are the main impacts on it?
So, for example, what we can see in almost in the markets that we are working with, almost the banks, financial institutions, have all the technology, a lot of legacy, and they are very conservative what they provide to their clients. So, what the fintech just brings to the market is, okay, do you want to build something that the end customer really need? So we can give you that in a very agile format, in a very simple way, very fast, and at end, in terms of cost, much cheaper than the big banks, financial institutions, or the lending or the debt sector that they can do, because normally that's not the main core business that they have. So, in my truly opinion, just continue to tell you what I tell you in the first question. So, what is the main impact is for the end consumer? Okay, so the main goal of the fintechs is to be in the market that give you better answer to all the end consumers. So truly, I don't see the impact in the negative way. I'm just saying the fintech because okay, I'm working for a fintech company, so I'm not impartial. Just telling that, but in my opinion, is what the market needs because what we need to see in the fintech world is we go to the market, we analyze, we do a lot of research, try to understand what is the needs that the end consumer have and what they really want for the market in terms of banking or financial products. So what they ask at end is to be more understandable. And sometimes the big companies don't understand very well the end consumer. So that is the main impact of the fintech company, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. And since we are speaking about the financial industry, as you are well aware, the banks and financial companies are one of the main clients of business information industry.
Mhm.
So, in your opinion, how are fintechs affecting business information companies in their relationship with the financial sector?
You are speaking about the fintech or the business. How do you think they affect the business information companies?
Yeah, some way they do you think they can substitute the services that we are now providing to because probably sometimes we may have some fears regarding the way that fintech are interacting with the financial sector.
No, I don't think so. I think the market is enough for everyone. I think what's happened is the business information companies, what they need to see is how they can improve the service of the product or the solution that they provide to the banks or to other companies. Because what happened is sometimes I'm not going to speak some the names of the big business information companies, but sometimes what they do is okay. I have my client, is my client. I don't want to share the piece of the pie. So normally, what happens in those kind of companies is very difficult to have a kind of partnership because, in my opinion, if we engage together and creating some type of partnership, just going to be better for everyone. So we don't need to compete for the piece of the slider or of the pie because what we really need to do is to look to the client, try to understand what is the needs that they have, and be together and to present a very good service to those companies. So I'm a guy, for example, I'm a guy that I believe in partnerships. Okay, so it's why we have a partnership, like I said to you, also in Portugal, also in Spain, also in UK, with a lot of business information companies because what we want in the end is give a better data to our clients. So I think we are not a very or truly competitors. In some clients, maybe we are, but that's not aim of I think for the fintech companies. What the fintech companies really want is put their foot in the client, helping the clients to give a better product, a better solution to the end consumers. So I don't think on that. So, but I believe some of these more conservative BI companies they think about it. They think that the fintech company they are very more or less like the ghost. So they really go to the market, go to the bank and said, okay, we can give you a better solution. But at the end, don't forget, almost the fintech, we don't have data. What we use using software to collect the data, working the data, and give better outcome of that data to our client. So the business information companies, they have the data. So I think the best way to do it is believe that working partners like in partnership is the best way to do it. So I don't think they need to be afraid about the
Totally
fintech
agree
company.
with you, Luis. So, since you moved from you worked in the business information industry for quite a year. Then you move now to technological environment, more technological environment. So, what do you think that the technological innovation process? How do you to what extent is the technological innovation process decisive for business information companies?
I think it's the most important thing that they can do. Why? Because if you understand, for example, I think almost the people have one or two mobile phone that are smart mobile phone. Okay, so what's happening in the market is everyone want to have everything in their hands. Okay,
Hmm.
so if those companies don't use the new innovation of technology, if those companies don't use biometrics, don't use iSign, don't use API to collect everything and then to give a good service to the end consumer, what's going to happen? They're going to be more obsolete, and then, okay, in that situation, they're going to be replaced by fintech company. Okay, but if they do what they do very well, that's having the data and present that kind of service to the market, if using the best technology to enable all the customers that to be more easy to manage all the information, easy to read the information, because sometimes what happens in these kind of BI companies, they have too much data and sometimes don't know how to use that data to provide good insights to the market. And so if they look to what kind of huge technologies that we have in the market, it's going to be complicated for them. So yes, in my opinion, they need to look to the innovation of the market in terms of technology, because we are growing a lot of machine learning. So we have a lot of new technology in place that they need to use, not just for the clients that they have, but also from themselves, because it's going to be cheaper to produce more products and to present a cheaper solution to the clients that they have.
Thank you, Luis, for sharing your opinion. Just changing a little bit the issue here, the theme. One of the most important challenges in this ecosystem of fintechs is the regulation of the activity. On the one hand, players with the same activity, the same risks, must have the same rules and the same supervision. And from a competitive point of view, regulators will play an essential role in not hampering the innovation and development of these companies, which are mostly startups. So, in your opinion, how will the new rules, the new regulation rules impact, and what are the repercussions in the fintechs, and what may be the repercussions in the information market, in the business information market?
I'm going to split this into ways. Okay, one is more the information market that I believe. I don't know very well in Portugal and Spain what is the regulator for these kind of companies, but for example in UK we have the FCA. Okay, so the rules they are very clear. We have a lot of schemas and a lot of guidance and a lot of rules that we need to be applied, and you need to have a license. Okay, so in my opinion, it's very important that everyone knows what is the rule to be in the market. And if you have a regulator that said this is the rule, this is the guideline, if you want to be in this market, you need to have a license, and to have that license, you need to be compliant with this scheme of rules. When we have that, everyone are in the same situation. Okay,
Mhm.
so I believe that it's a very key point that you have good regulators to look to the market, to look to the financial institutions, to look to the information market, to look to the fintechs and say, okay, this is the regulation that you need to be compliant to work in this market. If everyone uh, are clear about it, I think we don't have any problems. And sometimes we have problems because we have some rules, but then you have a lot of regulators that don't have enough people to go to the companies and say, okay, let's make some supervision about your business, about what you're doing in the market. For example, you have some companies that are struggling a lot with the data, with the security of the data, and sometimes, for example, we had in the past some breach about experience, some breach about Equifax, and that's continues to happen in the market. So everyone knows the rules. When it happen, they're going to receive a very, very big penalty from the regulator. So I think, and you can tell me that much better than I about Portugal and Spain. I don't know what kind of regulation that we have for the information market, but for the fintech, we have the regulation, for example, for Bank of Portugal or for Bank of Spain, because if you want to work in the European space, you need to be regulated for example, we are regulated from FCA in UK, and then when we have the Brexit, we need to create a branch in a European country and to be regulated for that, regulating in that European country. So I think it's very clear what it is, and what we are looking now, for example, in companies like Revolut, like now that Revolut now is the bank, like you have Amazon and Google and Facebook. They really want to be a bank
Hmm.
also in
Yes.
the European market. What happened is they need to have the rule in the country where they have the license, because if it's a European country, we are the same, because at the end you need the license to be in the market. And when the regulator just said, yes, you are in Ireland, you are in Estonia, or you are in Slovakia, but they continue to be European companies, European countries. So if they give you a license to work in the European space, so you can go to Portugal, to Spain, to France, to everywhere, because at the end you have a regulator in the country that gives you the license. So yeah, I think
You need to comply. Yes, you need
yeah,
to comply.
absolutely.
In the business information industry, we face the regulation regarding data protection, the GDPR, with a huge impact in every companies. So picking this theme of data protection, of course, fintechs have many benefits, but there are certain risks, which most of them involve security and privacy issues, as the services that you provide often involve collecting a lot of personal data, which may expose the consumer to the risk of, I don't know, some kind of identity theft or fraud through piracy. So, how to articulate fintech services with the data protection law, such as the GDPR, how you are dealing with this challenge in your sector?
At the end, you need to be regulated from some kind of institution in the country where we are having the license. Okay, so for example, and explain just a little bit about us. So we are regulated by FCA. For the European market, we are more regulated in Malta. And what we need to do is to be compliant with the rules. For example, in terms of security, we have ISO 27001. That means that in terms of security, we are compliant with the rules. Okay, we are compliant with the best standards that we have in the market. So, what we can present to our clients is, okay, we have this certificate from this kind of institution that said that we process all the schema that they have, and we process all the process that they have to be compliant and to receive this kind of certification. Okay, so we are compliant in terms of security data, and GDPR at end is just that. Okay, so you need to be compliant with this protection, and like I give you the example of Equifax, of Experian, what they had breach in the past. So they were compliant in terms of GDPR, but at end are things that happen in the market. So you have a lot of hackers around the world, so they will try to breach your barriers and say, okay, we can do it. So what we need to do every time is creating or working with good companies that they are compliant with the GDPR. For example, we work with AWS, also in European market, also in UK. For example, UK, we work with AWS UK. In the European market, we use the cloud of AWS in Frankfurt. So I think the most important thing to do is be regulated. GDPR are very clear what is the rule that you need to be compliant. So everyone needs to be compliant with this. And also, the fintech service, the fintech company, we are regulated about it. So sometimes I just hear for the market, some companies said, the fintechs company, they are not regulated. No, that's not true. So we are very regulated. We are very supervised for the institution that needs to be. And so if they give us the license to work, we can go to any European country and make it work and present our platforms, our service, because we are complying with the law. So although that I believe, because I have that experience in the past, the data protection institution in Portugal, they are very conservative. So
Tell me about it.
sometimes it's more complicated to do business in Portugal than to do business in other European countries, because they are not so conservative. So they are open to the fintech companies, and they really understand or adapt the law that they have to embrace what is the business, the service that the fintechs normally provide. So yeah, but in Portugal sometimes it's more complicated because the protection institution is more conservative that we have
Yes,
in
and
the other
it's
geography.
different. You just crossing the
Yeah,
frontier. It's different from Spain to
yeah,
Portugal.
it is.
It's different. So, Luis, thank you very much for your for sharing your knowledge and your experience about fintechs. And thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day, guys, and Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for everyone.
Well, thank you, Josue and Luis, for bringing the topic of fintechs to the FEBIS podcast. My takeaway from today's episode is that fintechs and business information industry offer a world of possibilities in terms of partnerships. And thank you very much again. Wishing you a wonderful season, Christmas, New Year. Stay safe, take care, and see you sometime soon.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.
We would love to hear your feedback and thoughts for future episodes. You have been listening to the FEBIS podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for listening.